Hello everybody, it's me George, and today I wanted to do a book review, but a little bit of a different book review. It's been a long time, but I haven't actually read a good novel in a long time. Now, hear me out. This novel is based around witchcraft. It's not fact, it is fiction. But it has been a novel that has kind of been circulating around a lot of tradcraft people, particularly trad witches over the big ocean, over the Atlantic. And that book review I am doing today is this, Slewfoot, A Tale of Bewitchery by Brom. This book is incredible. Genuinely, I really enjoyed this book. It's a novel, and I haven't read a novel in such a long time, but I got so much enjoyment out of reading it. A lot of the times as well, I'd read it in the evening. I'd have like candles lit, and I'd have like dark fantasy music on in the background. It was a vibe. Reading by candlelight, it was just beautiful. I really love this book, so I'll read the blurb. Set in colonial New England, Slewfoot is a tale of magic and mystery, of triumph and terror from acclaimed author and artist Brom. So he also done the artwork for this book. An ancient spirit awakens in a dark wood. The wild folk call him father, slayer, protector. The colonists call him Slewfoot, devil, demon. To Abathar, a recently widowed outcast, alone and vulnerable in a pious village, he is the only one she can turn to for help. Together, they ignite a battle between pagan and Puritan, one that threatens to destroy the entire village, leaving nothing but ashes and bloodshed in its wake. It's incredible. There's historical basis to it as well. What I really loved about this book is that it actually not only touches on that, it touches on folk magic, like a lot. It touches on cunning folk practices. Of course, it is fantasy, so there are some things there that aren't sort of set in stone factual, but there are some things there that are actual folk magical kind of elements to them. And I really love the fact that this book it also kind of shows in one, I want to say scene, because it felt like I was in a series. Like I felt like I was in a film or a series, like I was watching a series. This book, the way that the author writes, it genuinely is a piece of art within itself, in the sense that it just took me there, and I really felt like I was there. I could see the land that she was on, I could see the village, I could see the town meeting house, I could see the woodlands. It was just incredible. Really fucking good. I read this in like 4 or 5 days because I was just so I couldn't stop reading it. I love the fact in the book as well, it talks about kind of the aspect of dual faith practice within folk magic, and there's a really interesting kind of part from the book that kind of talks about masking up witchery with Christianity. So that just kind of got my bag. But it's a fantastic book. It's Puritan, it's pagan, it's witchy, it's folk magic, it's Luciferian, it's very Luciferian, particularly towards the end. And the artwork is just, look at that. Can't see it, there you go. Look at that. The artwork is just to die for. It's a body of work within itself. But this book is dark, it's erotic, it's sensual, it's just perfect. I couldn't recommend this book enough, because especially for witches in general, I've seen a lot of witches and non-witches as well really enjoy this book, but the way in which he writes is incredible, and the storyline is so good. So good. This is something I can't rate this enough. There were scenes, and again, I'm saying scenes. I feel like this should be made into a series or a film, because it would do fucking amazing. But it genuinely felt like I was there. I had such a clear image in my head of the kind of different areas, the different things that they were doing. It's an amazing book. It touches on cunning folk as well. It's so good. Yeah, definitely read this book. If you want something to settle down to and to read and to have a genuinely enjoyable read, it's really dark, it's really gritty, it can be quite violent, it can be quite uncomfortable at times, and it can be so nourishing in the sense that this book, like certain parts of the book, the flight part, chef's kiss. Honestly, chef's kiss. Like, it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Yeah, I definitely recommend this book. I really, really recommend this book. And I've kind of looked to see if the author is actually a witch, because to be completely honest with you, there are things within this book that I was reading that I was like, I've kind of experienced that. There were certain situations in this book in regards to interactions with spirits, because I feel like the author really gets the concept of spirits, right? Really gets the kind of way in which spirits work. And as a spirit worker myself, as a person that has an established otherworldly companionship with the otherworld and with certain spirits, it's just the way in which the author writes. I was like, are you actually a witch? Because it genuinely feels like that at times. Yeah, I had to do this book review whilst it's fresh in my mind. I've not done my hair or anything like that. I'm in my work gear, but I'm just like, oh, buy this book. It's so good. So good. I've seen many people talk about this. I've seen Jasmine Ambrosia actually was the first person to kind of talk about this book. And then I saw a couple of other people and I was like, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet and get onto the hype. And I am so glad I did. It's otherworldly, it's seductive, it's magical, stop. Honestly, it's my favourite novel. And sounds quite sad. I only really read witchcraft books or occult books now, so I've not really sat and read an actual novel for a long time. But this book, incredible. Definitely buy it, and definitely read this book. It's an incredible piece of work. The art within it, from Brom, is just amazing. The way in which Brom writes is evocative, it's descriptive, it takes you there. And you can see so many crossovers between historical folk magic and also folk religion in general and folk practice in general, and how sometimes they can have very kind of blurred areas and the lines aren't straight and they kind of move. And the spirits as well, and the way in which the spirits are, and they're just, yeah. Buy this book. Over and out. Peace.